Wednesday afternoon, and you know what that means. Ringside Heat is on the air on Saga 960 AM, your favorite podcatcher, as well as on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lex Tan, host and producer of the show. You can follow me at Lex Tan Media, and you can follow the show at Ringside Heat on all of our social media. If you're watching on YouTube, it's on the bottom of your screen right now. If you are listening to the podcast or on radio, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on X, Facebook. I said F for Facebook. Anyway, TikTok. Oh boy, that's a good show already. Yeah, all the social media platforms. That Ringside_Heat is where we're at. And the man with the confused look on his face right now, I'm going to introduce him first. He is the director of digital content at Tabuada 93, Jose Tabuada. Jose, how's that for you?
165 episodes in, folks. I've had the pleasure of hosting, I think maybe 10 to 15, I'd say maybe 20. The only thing I need to say is follow us on our social media at Ringside_Heat, and you're done. And he just went F for Facebook. F for Facebook, folks.
That's right, folks. F.
I'm doing great. I apologize for not being in the last few weeks. It's been a busy week for me, such as I decided to turn 31, which has been a lot of fun.
Who are you, Doctor Who?
Apparently,
you decide to turn 31?
I decided to turn 31 last week, which is great. And then the brother had a birthday this past week. So for the Tabuadas, this block in December is always the craziest, but I love it because it means I'm here another year, another trip around the sun. I've been liking to say lately. So I've been good. Been busy, but we definitely have had a more entertaining week than last week, that's for sure. And I'm saying that says a lot because it was my birthday, but very exciting week this week, and I'm very excited to talk about what we got going on today. And also I realized that next week we may not even have an episode because next Wednesday is Christmas. I just realized.
That is right. Next Wednesday is Christmas.
Yeah, folks, during the commercial
that's
break.
why my tree is back there.
Tis the season. I have a tree up on my shelf here that actually all year round. But yes, tis the season to talk logistics about next week in the commercial break. So
yes, definitely. Beside Jose, we've got our man from Cape Breton Island. That's right.
Oh, I live there, but I'm from Toronto.
Okay, he's from Toronto, yes, but he's currently living in Cape Breton Island. Extra Life and Sick Kids Twitch streamer at Risen72, Colin Dodge. Colin, welcome back, and glad we're here all together now. So
yeah, we have. Well, I mean, it's our 4 regulars, and then there's this new guy. He's got a winged belt, which is pretty. It's pretty on topic. But so it's nice to have a new addition to the show. But 2024 hasn't killed me yet, so I'm here. Let's do it.
Well, I also do have a winged eagle belt as well, which we'll get into later on in the show. But let's transition over to the other guy with the winged eagle belt, as Colin just pointed out. Chico Nugent at Coco Collects. He is a wrestling collection expert, and that's one of the belts in his collection. Chico.
Oh man, I felt like I was 5 or 6 years old again, first getting into wrestling, seeing the winged eagle on Saturday night's main event and everything, and that was cool. I thought it was going to be a sledgehammer that Triple H lent to Cody. So imagine my pleasant surprise.
Did you actually thought it was a sledgehammer?
I mean, it was sort of a lengthy case. So I thought it could be. I thought it could be a belt of some sort. But I also thought possible sledgehammer. But, I don't know. That was the thought I went with.
It was one of those things where once I saw like the gold, I'm like, it's coming. Like I think everybody got excited to realize it was coming, or just a very bright Stardust outfit. One of which is the other meme that was going around.
Yeah, I saw that.
I would have started watching immediately if that happened, instead of waiting till January 6th.
I think I didn't want to think winged eagle and be disappointed. I think that's what happened in my brain.
That's very fair.
I went to sledgehammer.
That's very fair.
Now, see, here's the thing. If there was a sledgehammer along with the winged eagle, you could actually take a sledgehammer and make a hardcore title out of it. So.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Well, it was just nice to see it is all.
Yeah. And then, last but not the least, not in any way, the man of the hour over here, he just released he just released a new single today, which we will be talking about in a sec. But first, let's introduce the man, the myth, the legend, John Dawson. He is our theme music writer, and he has an album out there as well, too, called Outlier, which is a great piece, a great musical work. Johnny, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that Outlier is doing amazing, and I'm so glad that this single that you are releasing that dropped last night at midnight. I'm so proud of you, brother. I want you to tell us all about it.
Wow, thank you. It's nice to be back. I haven't seen you guys in a while. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's been a bit nuts, but it's nice to be back. For presumably the last one of the year, and then we'll start fresh again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, listen, man. I don't know when we want to talk about the tune. I'm proud of the tune. It's not on Outlier. It's a bit of a standalone thing, but Outlier has been wonderful. It's been kind of an interesting experience, and I don't know, man. I don't really know what to say. I'm still working. My wife still yells at me, so nothing really changes, right?
Status quo.
Yeah.
Well, if you're working, your wife's yelling at you. I mean, like it's not that bad of a life, then, huh?
No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I can't really complain. It's pretty wonderful.
Definitely, but you know what? The question that you have, or at least the thought that you had posed, I do want us to talk about that right now. I want to talk about this big single that you are that you have released, and I've listened to the tune. We've all listened to the tune over here, and it is I'll be honest with you, Johnny. It made me tear up. It made me tear up because of what of the meaning, the meaning behind it, and the shared experience that we that we saw, and it's like, yeah, I want you to tell us more about it. You, in your own words.
Thank you. I'm more than happy to. It's an interesting song because it was a confluence of a lot of things. It's one of the very few story songs I've ever attempted to write. This is a story. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It has a bit of an act two, the hard times that come. And it's, that's a bit of a daunting form as a songwriter to try and tell someone else's story as opposed to your own feelings. But I'm very happy this one worked out. It is ostensibly about Cody winning, and if I may, I do want to take a step back to the early podcast one days when I was listening to a JR podcast. He had Dusty on, and he asked Dusty, he said, "What's your favorite WrestleMania moment?" Dusty says it hasn't happened yet. It's going to be when Cody Rhodes main events a WrestleMania.
Wow.
Now this was either right before or right after Cody left. So the news comes out that Cody Rhodes leaves WWE, was unhappy with creative. Of course, we all know where he was at creatively. But there was no AEW. He hadn't started it yet. There were some indies, but even they weren't really getting a lot of traction. There was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He walked away from everything, and his dad says, "When my son main events WrestleMania." Now, as a dad, I'm just like, you got to be kidding me right now. Like, what a beautiful thing to say. And of course, I followed Cody's story peripherally. The AEW launch, it was brilliant. The All In thing, all of that was, I'm like, what is this guy up to?
Mm-hmm.
And then 38 comes, and you guys, we were all actually, sorry, forgive me, Colin, you were not, but the rest of us were. You were there in spirit, brother.
Always.
And I remember saying to my kids, because they had no idea who this guy was.
No.
And there was the rumor that he was the mystery opponent to Seth. And I remember saying to my sons, like, you might want to watch this. If what's about to happen happens, you're going to want to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
And we were there. And wrestling has more than one world. And then that happens. And I'm like, oh my God, what is about to happen? He has become, he is to them what Hulk Hogan was to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
It is an absolute 100% correlation. And I watched that very first moment. So from then on, of course, we know what happens. 39 nearly killed them, as it should have, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then there we were at 40. But forgive me if I'm taking too long, but
No, keep on going, brother.
The seeds of the tune were planted on the drive to Philly. I remember listening to Cody do an interview. We were just trying to stay on top of the news. And he was asked by the interviewer something about Brandy, and Cody said something to the effect of, I'm really happy about how she's going to be showcased at this event. Obviously, he was very careful in how he phrased that. But I remember my thought as I'm driving on some innocuous interstate in, who knows what part of New York we were in, Jose, at that time.
Beats me.
Mhm.
And I remember that really, and like the eyes of the world, the biggest movie star in the world, everything is looking at this guy, and he's looking at her. It blew me away, but in a very sort of subconscious way. Anyways, we have the experience. We have this wonderful moment where my children are a mess. We're all a mess
Mhm.
because we heard that 1, 2, 3.
Mhm.
We heard that, and I've been waiting for that. About a week later, I was home a little ill. I'm not blaming the event. I don't think the IT, there's several things that could have been. I was ill. And I watched The Iron Claw. Lovely film, but one of the saddest movies I think I've ever seen in my
it's a tough
life.
watch.
Oh my
It's a tough
That's
watch.
a hard watch.
It's a tough one.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, still
Mhm.
haven't watched it.
Beautiful, beautiful film. But man,
Yeah.
that one will not, like, it stayed with me for days.
Yeah.
And, just as a bit of, guys grew up around here, beyond the wall, the Von Erichs, there was Texas Tornado. Most of us didn't grow up with much of the Von Erichs.
No.
And I remember doing it because I was like, I think there's 2 kids missing from this movie. And I remember doing a bit of a dive to kind of go, what, had they, and I came across something I hadn't thought about in years, which is the 2008 Darren Aronofsky film, The Wrestler, with Mickey Rourke, right? Did I get his name right, Aronofsky?
Yep.
And it had a link to the Springsteen tune. Now, this is Bruce Springsteen. The guy's pretty good. But I listened to the tune,
got
and
potential.
it's like, you ever seen a one-legged pony dancing in the rain trying to be, or what forgive me if I'm getting the words, but I was just like, this does not equate to what I just experienced. It didn't make sense. And I felt in that moment, in my little convalescence, this song needed a rebuttal. And I felt like there needs to be another voice to another side of the beauty of the human story of wrestling. And picked up the guitar, and I just, started imagining that moment again. And I thought of the lights, and it was just under all the light, started singing about it, tweaked the words, worked in a little homage, a little inversion to his theme song at the end. Instead of, up the curtain, out the lights, it's drop the curtain, hit the lights at the end. So it's an inversion of
Nice.
his theme song
Mhm.
because they're done. And it just became this wonderful kind of mix of stuff. And I was just like, I just feel like this is to me, this was like, here's the credits rolling on his story. I was just so moved by everything that man gave to my children, and everything his wife gave for him, and everything they've given to each other. It's not about, obviously it's not about wins. It's not about kayfabe. It's not about all that. It's about people.
Yeah.
It's about people in life trying to figure it out and overcoming things they didn't know they had to face. Bent too long under the burden to become, he puts the future in the past. Living under the shadow of Dusty. It's over now. So at the end of the day, the song is just a really, really heartfelt tribute to an unbelievably special moment. Beyond what we saw in the ring, it was a wonderful 2 nights of actual in-ring action, but there was just so much more around that story. I'm just glad that I was able to try and capture something of what it meant to me. Once we got in the studio with it, and the guys, Manny, Anthony, Mike, Steve, once they got their hands on it, I was just like, I remember Anthony coming in with he took the tune. I didn't hear from him for 2 weeks. That's okay. The sessions, whatever day it was, he shows up and he drops this drum part. And I'm like, man, I didn't see that coming. And it was just this, I worked in this little middle section just to kind of take it somewhere different musically, just to freshen it up a bit. So it felt like you came back home when that one chord hits, and just to come under all the lights, it feels fresh again after going on this funny little journey for a bit. I couldn't believe what we were able to accomplish. Justin Perkins at Mystery Room Mastering just did an unbelievable job, really putting the final sparkle on that. But it was a lot of work. It was a lot of intense work. It was the better part of my fall, getting this thing together. And look, man, I don't know. I've said all along to anybody who will listen, my only hope is that they hear it. It's for no expectations. I'm not looking for anything. It's just like, man, here's a little something for you, from me, for whatever that's worth. I'm very proud of the tune. I personally think it's one of the best songs I've ever written. I really don't feel like anybody's going to be disappointed when they listen to this song. I think they're going to listen to it, and they're going to listen to it again, and they're going to listen to it again, because it's one of those tunes, I believe, when I look at, it takes a village, and a song like this, when I think of the team I've had around me and the people who've supported it, I'm just really proud of it. And I'm talking like I just won a Grammy, but I did emotionally. I did for this tune. As a writer, this was a massive win for me. But at the same time, hey man, it's out of my hands now. I hope people like it. I love it. And I'm really proud of it. And I really want to thank you guys for giving me a chance to talk about it, because this is a story. It's hard to put this down, man. I was like, we're doing a full media push in the new year with a publicist and everything. We'll see where that goes. In the meantime, I'm just kind of wanted to that was the other point, because I put it out the day I did, because it was the 16th anniversary of the release of The Wrestler.
Oh, right.
Okay.
So I wanted to put it out for the wrestling audience as to position it as the rebuttal to Springsteen's tune. So that's why it's out now. There'll be a much bigger push in the winter, but I thought for all of us in this fun little world we inhabit, I thought I wanted to share it. So there it is.
That's amazing. And you know what? We will give all of you listening right now on Saga 960, on your favorite podcatcher, as well as on YouTube, the opportunity to listen to it. And right now, actually, in this episode, it will be the radio debut of John Dawson's single. Say it, John. Say it.
Under All the Lights.
Under All the Lights. That's
for
right.
Cody and Brandy.
That's exactly. For Cody and Brandy, Under All the Lights. So we will be listening to that tune after the break here on Saga 960 AM. We will be back after these promotional considerations.
Tell me I'm wrong, but if we just walk away, we'll be giving in. Tell me I'm wrong, but if we just walk away.
And welcome back to Ringside Heat on News Talk Saga 960 AM, your favorite podcatcher, and on YouTube. Lex Tan alongside Jose Tabuada, Colin Dodge, Chico Nougat, and John Dawson. And this is a really special time for us over here, a really special episode and a very special segment over here, because this is the radio debut of John Dawson's new single, Johnny Say It Again.
Under All the Lights.
Under All the Lights, dedicated to Cody and Brandy Rhodes. And we are eager right now just to let you all listen to this amazing tune that John has written. Hope you enjoy it. Jose, take it away.
Under all the lights, with only everyone. Some see a warrior, some a mage, some a rogue that stole 1,000,000 hearts. But I'll see the winner of the game. Before the world, he stands alone. one single face. Without her, he's just song without the sound. He's just words without a page. Before the world, he lets her know. Through all the hard times that have come, through all the aching broken bones, and the feeling that I can't, you were the only one beside me, whispering that I can't. Under all the lights, with only everyone, he feels the weight lifted at last. Bent too long under the burden to become, he puts the future in the past. Before the world, he lets it go. And under all the lights, with only everyone, all eyes behold two braided souls. Where one ends and where the other starts is a secret only they will ever know. Before the world, they stand alone. Drop the curtain, hit the lights, they're home.
Under All the Lights by John Dawson. That is the radio debut right here on News Talk Saga 960 and as well on Spotify and your favorite podcatcher and on YouTube as well. It's out on Spotify right now and it's available for download. Just look up Under All the Lights by John Dawson and wonderful. Congratulations, man. It is an amazing tune and I'm tearing up about it myself even like again. It's like what's going on with me? Jeez.
I didn't have my lighter. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I should
that's
have
all
my
right.
lighter. Sorry, buddy.
Fireflies, new fireflies. No, thank you guys for giving me that moment. Yeah,
Mhm.
a lot of
Of
fun.
course.
Mhm. And I want to go around the horn as well. I want you guys to share what kind of thoughts and things that you were thinking of, and what it I guess invokes, I guess, in a sense, for lack of a better term, in terms of emotion, in terms of thoughts and everything. So I'm going to start that off myself over here. I think my favorite line in all of this is. You were the only one beside me telling me I can. That one really hits. That one really hits because it's like it is with all the craziness that life and trying to achieve your dreams and trying to build your to build and to build your family and to provide for yourself and provide for the people that are blessed to be a part of your life. It is a difficult thing. Adulting is difficult. No, and it's yeah, a lot of people turned it into a bit of a joke that like oh yeah, in order to grow up, adulting is hard, whatever like that. But it is. It really, really is hard to adult, and to have that right relationship, that person beside you, telling me that you can, even when the entire world may not believe in you, even when even you may not believe in you. And thinking about the way that Cody and Brandy must have felt just by themselves after all the celebrating in the ring, after passing through Gorilla, and it was just them on the ride back to the hotel. I mean, it is the amount of love and appreciation and the amount of just it's an unexplainable thing that, yes, only those two, they will stand alone, and it's a secret they will only ever know. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing, man. And again, that's one of the reasons why this, to tie it back to the wrestling business again, it's one of the reasons why it's such an amazing genre of entertainment, because it does invoke all of these emotions inside, and outside of the ring too. It's not just the smoke and mirrors and the glitz and the glamour and the pageantry on TV, but it's this real stuff that is a part of life that we can relate to, not just as non-wrestlers.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it just takes me back to just, again, just being there, just being at like a financial field. I don't want to comment on, you know, what they may feel or what the story, because again, like John said in the lyrics, it's a secret only they know. So I feel like that's something that I'm not at liberty to kind of express or talk about how they may feel or whatnot. But it just reminds me of, you know, the excitement that I had for everybody here who was going to their first WrestleManias, right? And I was saying this once we got our tickets, and saying, get ready, because it's going to be such a crazy ride. And it's more than just attending an event. And it's more than, like, we can attend a bunch of different wrestling events, but obviously this one, they put important, there's a reason why they put so much importance and pageantry to the name, right? And to be part of all that, it's unique, it's special. And yes, you know, it's something that I can go to every year, but no matter how many you do, you still know that it's, hey, you're about to experience something special. And to see Cody get his moment, it was phenomenal, because, you know, from being there as part of history to the wounds and you could say wounds if you want to, the frustrations of what happened the year before in Los Angeles, and the way that all unfolded, the shock of seeing him lose to Roman, and seeing what the story was going to go from there. So it just takes me back to just, you know, being in that seat and how happy I was to be in my second WrestleMania, because it is my favorite event of the year. And I feel like, to me, the song just kind of solidifies it's justified, you know, why I get so happy with this event, why I always get so giddy every year to sit down on my TV and watch this event called WrestleMania, because you know that something special is going to happen, and for a group of for somebody, it's going to be a really, really special moment. He got his special moment, and it felt special to be a part of it. So it's just a well thought out song. And I was at the recording studio recording behind the scenes footage, and I'm just listening to, while the lyrics are great, I also love remembering, like, you know, the moments where, like, you know, John was planning it out and saying, if you like this, like, what about the tempo of that? Is this a good beat to it? Do I like this? It's just fascinating. So that's all I can think about with the song as well. Then where I'm going, they struggled here and then they made it work. So it was really cool to be behind the scenes from that perspective. But yeah, at the end of the day, it just makes me fortunate that I was at my second WrestleMania and part of that experience. And, you know, again, hopefully whenever I'm ready to scratch the itch to attend my third, it'll be hopefully special.
Colin.
Well, my connection, of course, is absolutely completely different, because I was only there in spirit for that event. But really, it takes me back to all the events where I saw Johnny play. And so the very earliest, I would have to say, is probably 8 Richardson, and I believe it was your dad's office, where it was you and the boys just playing ahead by a century, because you were all together that day. And then, of course, I saw you, I think the last and maybe only time I went to a Jays game is you were playing the anthem, you and your band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was that. The other time, I was amazed you were awake that early because you played on breakfast television one time.
Oh my god! I
Really?
forgot about
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that
No,
one.
no, we're not going to talk about that. But I'm like, wow, he's awake and standing. That was amazing. Yeah. And then, of course, one of my favorites was when it was your birthday. We were all out. You got a brand new guitar.
Oh yeah, my seagull. Yeah, it's
And
right
the
over there.
foolish band playing in the pub that night let you get on stage. And,
Yeah, that was a
oh,
mistake.
I'm sure they still regret that because then that became your show at that point. So that
Yeah, they kicked me off. Yeah,
yeah,
they had
yeah.
to
That
kick
I
me
was
off.
like, yeah, he's not going to stop, fellas. You're going to have to kick him off because everybody's having a lot of fun right now. So
They did.
yeah, and yeah, so it's every time you release something, I just always flash back to those kind of times. So for people that don't know, I mean, we're cousins, but we grew up together. We're essentially brothers. So
Yeah,
that's
100%.
that's my connection there. So yeah, so mine's not tied to WrestleMania, unfortunately, but yeah, I just always flash back to those times. So yeah, that's what I always think about.
Wow.
Chico.
Oh man, well, it's an emotional song for sure. It's not an exact correlation, but it somehow reminded me of an old song by a band called Band of Horses, and the song is "No One's Gonna Love You." But it's the sentiment is no one's gonna love you more than I do, or no one's gonna love you like I do. So some of the lines kind of connected me back to that song, and that song was on the soundtrack of one of my all-time favorite shows, which was the spy comedy Chuck, starring Zach Levi and Yvonne Strahovski. And it was just like, I think when their romance came together, and it was just kind of, the two of them against the world kind of thing. That was one of those nice emotional songs, and that took me back to a similar sentiment. It's not an exact correlation, but it just kind of part of the feeling brought me back to that. So that's really nice. I love that song. So the fact that song, your song, took me back to that one is a pretty strong emotional connection there, I guess. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, as I was saying to you guys offline before we got back from break, it's a nice way to culminate the 2024 that a lot of us have had as wrestling fans too. Because like Jose said, I mean, for at least Lex and John and myself, along with some other people, it was our first live WrestleMania. And so there's this big, huge dream come true bucket list event. And a bunch of us were there together at the same time. And so it just partly also brought me back to that experience, just like it did for Jose. And yeah, it just like Lex said too, it's a nice thought exercise to kind of just imagine, these are our heroes that we see portray storylines and sacrifice a lot of things for us. In particular for Cody and Brandy Rhodes, they had to bet on themselves a whole lot at different parts of their careers. Whether it's initially leaving WWE as man and wife there, Cody and Brandy, to starting up AEW, to again betting on themselves by leaving AEW and coming back into WWE. That's a whole bunch of guts too. I mean, they've had to be each other's ride or die, and I think that's part of what John's getting at with at least part of the song. They're each other's, star-crossed lovers, not Stardust crossed lovers. Ugh, okay, let's leave that behind. But I mean, just it's a really nice thought exercise to imagine, like, how the two of them might be each other's, true love and true rocks for each other. So yeah, man, well done, Johnny. I like listening to that. I don't dole out praise too easily sometimes with songs. Like I lean to cynicism and things like that sometimes, but that's a really good piece of music, my friend.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Wow. Thanks, guys. Holy cow. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's a good
Like a
trip
nice
down
early
memory lane.
Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Can I just say one last thing about this, man? Because I know we got other stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, man. The floor is yours, brother. The floor is yours.
Just one line in there that was "All eyes behold two braided souls" is might be my personal favorite line in the whole song.
Yeah,
and it's actually an homage to probably my second favorite Paul Simon song of all time, which is "Hearts and Bones." where he says, "You take two bodies and you twirl them into one, their hearts and their bones, they won't come undone." And it's just a stunning line. And I remember hearing it in like my 20s. I'm like, oh my God. It always stuck with me. And I felt like this was like, I remember when I'm like, oh my God, I got to find a way. So the Braided Souls is a 100% homage to Mr. Simon. And I pop myself at that line a lot. It's my personal favorite in that whole thing. So as a married guy, listen, I remember asking Ron Sexsmith about this, about story songs, and he'd commented how hard they are, and he said they're always filtered through your own experiences. And as a married man, it's Cody and Brandy I'm writing about, but it would be an absolute falsehood if I didn't say I was drawing on some of my own experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's only one reference point I have for somebody who always sees the best in you, and she happens to live in this house. So while it's 100% for Cody and Brandy, it is definitely mediated through my experience. So anyways, I liked it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Too.
we all do too. And as I mentioned before, it's to have that right relationship, and to be able to struggle through those ups and downs. Yeah, it is. It's not easy. It's not. It can be damn difficult sometimes, but in the end, it is a big blessing that you have that experience in yourself, Johnny, with you and with you and your wife and your kids and everything, and the fact that you are able to share the genre of wrestling with all of them, and
It's insane. It's hilarious.
It's that special. That's amazing, and it's also very expensive because Elimination Chamber is. I'm just worried about my own ticket Elimination Chamber, but for you, geez, man.
Yeah, no, everything is ×4 around here, man. It didn't used to be that way, but yeah, now everything's ×4. So
Pesky kids.
well, it was when the wife got involved, it added definitely a 25% increase to everything. So
but you're a better family for it, man. And I honor you for this for the music that you've put out this year with Outlier and this particular single. And may all more blessings and success come your way, Johnny.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to take a break over here. When we come back, we only have a few minutes left here, but we want to go and talk about something Cody related as well. Saturday night's main event and the debut, the re-debut of a piece of WWE history when we come back after the break on Newstalk Saga 960 AM. Back after these promotional considerations.
Under all the lights, with only everyone.
And welcome back to Ringside Heat on Newstalk Saga 960, your favorite podcast right on YouTube. Lextan at Lextan Media, Ringside Heat at Ringside_Heat, alongside Jose Tabuada at Tabuada93, Colin Dodge at Risen72, Chico at Coco Collects, and the man of the hour, John Dawson at John Dawson Music. We just debuted his brand new single, Under All the Lights, a song dedicated to Brandy and Cody Rhodes. Beautiful song. Download it, stream it off of your wherever you get music, as well as the Outlier album, which is available now. You can buy on Shopify, John Dawson Music at myshopify.com if you want the 180-gram vinyl, and of course, wherever you get your music to stream it. Anyway, Chico's got the Winged Eagle. I've got the Winged Eagle over here. And guess who also has the Winged Eagle? Cody Rhodes. Well, no, but not just Cody Rhodes.
Not anymore.
Not exactly.
There you
go. Saturday night's main event. That was, last Saturday night. And reviews for the show so far. It's been a great, or it was actually a really, really well booked, a really well paced show and everything. But Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens had a nice little story going into Saturday night's main event, and it ended up with with this belt in the hands of Kevin Owens. However, Cody is still the champion. So, first thing I wanted to say was that who else popped for the Winged Eagle title?
I can't say a lovely surprise because it was teased on social media by Triple H and Cody Rhodes with the long suitcase and opening up and then a shine gold. So I had a feeling it was coming because I know Cody in the past has expressed a lot, has always shown interest in the Winged Eagle, and he always spoke about the Winged Eagle. So I feel like I put two and two together once I saw the teaser, but it was still just such a great sight. I can't believe that we're at least for me personally, because all of you guys are from the Stone Age. I can't believe I'm living in an era
Probably.
where I'm seeing the Winged Eagle V1 version 1, because I know there's a version 2 with the Attitude Era, but I'm seeing that version of the Winged Eagle in my current fandom, like on modern day TV. And I say modern day because obviously, that's a different era. I can't believe that this is going to be a central point, and I feel like I'm saying this is what it feels like to live in the 80s and the 90s to see that title around. I don't know what else to say to that. I just turned 31. Leave me alone. But I'm happy. It looked great on Cody. It looks good on Kevin. It's wow.
Mhm.
That's all I can say. Really, just wow.
Is
Yeah,
my
bunch of
favorite
teasers.
title belt of all time. So I felt fantastic.
There you go.
I was telling the guys too, for those who are listening, telling the guys on the side that I didn't want to think that the teaser meant the Winged Eagle belt and then be disappointed that it was not. So my brain instead guessed sledgehammer. Of course, that wouldn't make too much sense because you can just grab a sledgehammer under the ring anytime. But Triple H handing something off, that's a lengthy case to Cody. Now, of course, the golden light was a dead giveaway, so that's fine. I just I didn't want to say Winged Eagle and then jinx it. You know what I mean? So I'm just glad that it was actually the Winged Eagle belt. And like I said, it's my favorite title belt of all time because I'm a huge Bret Hart mark. That is the world title that I grew up with in my initial fandom. In the golden era and then into the new generation era, etc. So that is it's kind of a smaller belt, of course, but that's just where my childhood icons, like that was the symbol of excellence as I got into the business. So I was very glad to see it, and I was very glad that it was a nice TV match between Cody and KO. And I say that because I'm sure that they're gonna have even better matches, seeing as this feud is just continuing. Because after Saturday night's main event went off the air, WWE did once again, like they've been doing the past little while, is they trusted fan cam uploads to hype up the next part of the story instead of their own stuff. Of course, they followed it with their own stuff.
Brilliant,
This
by
beautiful
the way.
use of social media.
Brilliant. I am respectfully, I am sick and tired of the people who say, why wasn't this for TV? And then share the clip on social media.
Right?
They share it.
But
Why
pick a
was it on
side.
TV? And yet it makes me laugh every time. Wow, why was this not on TV? Reposting, retweeting, and all the comments. And I don't want to comment because I'm not
answers your own question.
you just answered your own question. I know friends that get mad at it. It's like, why are we using social media? It like legitimately gets angry about it. And I'm telling like, you know what year you're living in?
Great point.
It just makes me laugh. I'm like, number one, it was a 2-hour network show. Okay, I want to emphasize that a lot. Commercials are gonna fly everywhere. You can't fit everything in 2 hours. It's tough already, especially for a marquee network show that NBC helped put on the map. Come on. It's what you weren't going to fit everything. Matches were getting commercial breaks. So go ahead. I guarantee you, if social media was around at Saturday night's main event, there'd be a much bigger talk. It's the right thing to do, guys. Let's calm down about everything being on TV when you are sharing with everybody your fandom and what is of interest, because it makes you look forward to the next time you see something. Dumb are
you hear that, internet? Calm down.
Yeah.
It's just so dumb.
Does that ever work, Colin?
Yeah, right. It's an appropriate adaptation for sure. Yeah. It's sorry, Colin, I don't want to jump in over you.
That's all I had. I didn't watch it. Go for it.
There you go. Initially, it's funny because initially, Jose, what you just said actually made me rethink, because I was going back to the days of Hogan getting avalanched, on Saturday night's main event, and teeing up what ultimately wound up being WrestleMania 2. And so there is a part of me that wished I'd saw that on television. But you're absolutely right. That's a brilliant pivot and a brilliant use of this current media landscape.
Yeah.
Of course they still had their own company recording devices.
Of course,
come up
yeah.
with the
they got to control the
resolution
quality. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They got to control the quality. I did watch it at the appropriate time. I've recorded it and watched it at like 11:30 when I used to watch it.
Oh
as a
yeah,
kid.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, if this is Saturday night's main event, I'm doing it right. And
What a mark. What a mark. I love it. I love that's smart.
And
That's
go
the right
on.
way to
How
be
was
a
the
mark, though.
experience?
Yeah.
How did it go?
Yeah.
It was amazing. I loved the show. Dude, seeing the blue shirts, the ref shirts, I was just
Yes.
like,
Yep.
what is
Yep.
happening? The ropes, the red, white, and blue ropes, like they knew exactly how to just get me. It's like Emma Stone in Zombieland. Like he just gets me. Like that's just like that's me, Triple H. Like,
I love that movie.
yeah,
Sorry.
he just gets
Dude,
me.
Johnny and everyone else too. How about this? Jesse the freaking Body Ventura.
That's what I was going to ask. How was it having him back?
Like he never left.
It really was. I mean, obviously he's older. It was hard at some points. Like,
Well,
yeah, man. But he carried himself so exceptionally
I'll
well.
take it a step
Beautiful.
further. I'll take it a step further than John. I think yes. I think when he came to like the segments with Joe Tessitore, I think some people were saying, "Wow, he's so old. He doesn't really watch a product." Blah blah blah.
But he is.
But once,
Yeah.
but once he got on commentary, it's like he never left. And what he
Beautiful.
was adding on to that match
Callback.
was nuts. Like he was talking about, but who used the chair? Kevin Owens didn't use
Where
the
I
chair,
come
and I'm like,
from, that was
Yep.
yeah. But my favorite, Jose, sorry to cut you up, but I had to remember this. My favorite all-time Jesse the Body was a Saturday night main event when Jake Roberts, I think he was about to attack Macho Man with the snake, and Macho Man pulls Elizabeth in front of him.
Yes.
And Jesse the Body goes, brilliant move by the Macho Man. Now,
Yes. So funny.
Him and Bobby Heenan had the best one-off lines like that.
No, but he said it. He said it at one point. He goes, brilliant move on Saturday. And I was like, yes. There it is.
Beautiful.
And branching off of that, oh my gosh, so much about Jesse Ventura was gold on Saturday, including what he wore, what had a snake skin lining,
and called it Damien.
He was asked about it. He was asked about it, and he said he took Damien and made the jacket out of Damien. And it was brilliant. And not to mention all the heel commentary appropriately used. And then Michael Cole having a little he defended Cody as a face, so the two of them had a perfect balance going during the main event. And it was just so that's how you do heel commentary and do it well.
It was
it was beautiful. It was so good. Just like he did for and he would also call out moves that would potentially be more appropriately for a heel that Cody was about to do or thinking of doing, just like he would do for Hulk Hogan back in the day.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I want to say this because I know we're running out of time, and obviously this is not, again, it's not my first Saturday night's main event because they did the 2006 rendition of it. That at least televised wise, I know there were some house shows with the Saturday night's main event. This felt
2007
like
version too. Toronto.
Yes. I in the mid 2000s. This felt like a much more natural retro approach to the Saturday night's main event. Almost. So was the mid 2000s, but
all of them
the
were.
presentation, the presentation, the look, the feel, I only realized that it was the original Saturday night's main event theme that they used in the 80s.
Yep.
That's right. The very narrow ramp where like things can go wrong really easily with fans. I somehow even thought, I'm like, that's kind of cool. The security guards in the back that did not push away those fans.
The barricades, man. They were the bar.
Just like back in the day, the two security guards would follow the wrestler up the ramp because of how close how close the fans were. So,
So
that was
I
nice.
think for me as a younger fan who didn't grow up in the or not grow up wasn't around the Saturday Night's Main Event era.
Yes.
To me, it's like I feel like I know what it was like in the 80s and the 90s to be part of Saturday Night's Main Event. I felt like I got my question answered. So I
Yeah,
thought
so
it was
now
great.
go
Again,
go pick up your rotary phone if you know so well.
I have
you don't
rotary
have
phone. I have rotary phones. Chico and Lex can
Yes.
back me up. I
Yeah.
have them.
Yeah, they do.
I
Yep,
have
he
them.
does.
I
He
have them.
does.
I have them. But I'm
I'm
excited for January.
Stone
January
Age.
San Antonio next month. There's the next Saturday Night's Main Event, and I think
That's right.
they're going to do more spread out throughout the year, which is perfect. You don't need to do this once a month, maybe a couple times a year, 4 times a year, whatever.
Yeah,
They got to
keep
get
it really
this done.
special that way.
They
Mhm.
keep it special. They presented it the right way. They have something here once again with Saturday Night's Main Event. Triple H continues to honor the past by modernizing it and making it work. Brilliant.
Yep.
Like it.
Mhm.
Hey, and
Ringside-
one can I get an insight? I'm going to answer one more quick thought here before you wrap it up there. I also noticed out of the post-show shenanigans and everything, it's another example of what we're starting to see as a pattern that Triple H is running here in WWE and of course the whole behind-the-scenes crew. Now they're spacing out certain stories for certain talents, thus presumably leading to some better work-life balance. For example, Cody, of course, was written off with a package pile driver. That's
Yeah.
what it's called, right? Package
Hello,
pile driver.
holidays. Yeah.
And some people are speculating that he did have a pre-planned 3-week break for the holidays, so he'll be back right on time, ideally for the Netflix debut.
Oh, that'll
So
be
it's a
something.
nice thing here, and they have so many tools in their toolbox now that they can do that. They can space
Yeah.
people out and not need to have, say, like Punk at every show just to send
Yeah.
the people home happy. So we're living in some sort of golden age here, fellas.
Yeah.
Mhm. If you're listening on the radio, this third segment of the show is going to be edited for time because we are overtime. But if you're listening on the podcast or if you're listening on or watching on YouTube, you'll see this entire third segment in its full discussion and everything. So don't you worry if you wanted to, if you're listening on the radio right now, Saga 960 AM, just go and get the podcast version or find it on YouTube on Friday, and we'll be all there and you can hear the entire conversation. However, that is it for us here this afternoon. You can listen to us again on Sunday at I believe now it's 3 p.m. They've put it out. I'll clarify that. They've been moving our time slots around there on a Sunday. So thank you so much to all of you listening at the moment and will be listening in the future. Jose Tabuada 93, Risen 72 at Risen 72, Colin Dodge at Coca-Cola X, Chico Nougat, at John Dawson Music, John Dawson. That is your ring crew here today. I'm Lex Tan at Lex Tan Media. And of course, you can follow us on the show at Ringside_Heat on all social media platforms. This is Ringside Heat, and we do remember to think that you probably forgot.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's here in 2025. Bye.
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 Bye, guys.